Alright guys, let's start. I want to show you how the palette came in this beautiful box. Look at it. Wow. And here is the palette, nicely protected and wrapped. And it comes in a little slide thingy, sleeve, that's what it's called. Look at this palette. It's like a matte packaging and ooh, nothing like a nice new palette. And let's start these looks. We're gonna start priming with this Makeup Forever concealer. I find that this concealer is really good as a primer, especially on oily lids. So I am just here, you know, blending it out. And ooh, all right, let's start off with the shade Oaxaca. And we're gonna hit it right on the crease with this fluffy brush. It's a MAC 217, oldie but goodie. And we're just tapping it all over the crease, keeping it right there because the fluffiness does buff it out on its own. And doing tapping motions will get the most pigment on that lid. And then after the pigment's there, that's when I try gently to go back and forth just to buff it out a little more. Using the shade Under My Skin, which is a nice brown. It's a little bit of the warm tone. We're hitting it just at the edge of the lid, the crease. Back in with our first shade, bringing those two together and blending both of them out. Back in with Under My Skin, just going over. It's always like a back and forth with eyeshadows. And using this MAC 228S brush, we're going to go in with Chimal. It's a beautiful chocolate dark brown, and we're going to hit it at the end. And we're going to start creating a buffed out wing with this particular brush. It's perfect for it because it doesn't buff a bunch of shadow out, and it kind of keeps it exactly where you want it, but it's not a liner brush. You know what I'm saying? So we're just hitting it all over the lid. Really, we're just outlining the shape of our eye and our lid. Then I'm going in with this dark brown LA Girl liner just to really deepen that up so it could last all day long. I wanted it to be really dark, and pencils will do that for you. Going back in with the concealer and cleaning up that little area just slightly, nothing too harsh. Going in with the shade Oaxaca and Under My Skin. Reinforcing per the usual. Then going in with Blessed, we're going to hit it right on the lid where we hit that concealer and just tapping the shade over. I like to use these type of fluffy brushes because it really grabs the product, places it on the lid nicely without showing a lot of texture. And then back in, reinforcing our steps, you know, per the usual. And then cleaning up that liner, making it sharp AF with this makeup wipe. All right, full face and everything, going in with this LA liner. We're gonna hit the waterline, get it really, really dark, and back in with Chimal. And we're gonna hit it with the same 228 MAC brush and keep it close to the lower lash line, making sure we don't have those spots between the lower lash line and the waterline. Going in with Oaxaca and buffing that bad boy out. So we have a little buffed out effect. And then back in with our second brush, we use the Mario brush. We're going in Under My Skin and just tapping it over, just so we get the whole cohesiveness together. And fam, I wanted this look to be all matte. You guys know I have oily skin, everything's oily, and we want to just mattify it down for the first look. I really love how all these browns truly came together to create a nice soft look. You can do the liner, you don't have to do the liner if you don't want. You know, I'm a liner girl. This was my introduction to the palette, and I will say, damn, okay, let's move on. All right, starting off with our lids already primed, going in with Under My Skin and tapping it back in the crease with a MAC 217 brush and really building that bad boy up. I'm using the P. Louise primer. I forgot to show you on camera, but I'll show it again. And we're just tapping it over, now hitting it like cupping the eye. You see how I'm going all the way around from the inner corner to the outer, just going back and forth, tapping motions, get it really round. And then with this brush, it's clean. I'm just tapping over the edges. This takes a lot longer than it looks. I'm speeding it up because it does take a little bit of time, but taking that time will really buff those edges out nicely, doing tapping motions. And here I am with the P. Louise base, hitting the crease again and just blending it out. Back in with our blending brush, just so we don't have that harsh line of cleaning the crease. Using this shade Chimal again and our MAC 228 brush, we're just hitting it, you see right where the crease is, tapping it right there, literally where the fold is. This is gonna make our crease look a lot deeper and sharper. Well, not sharper, more deeper. and just really tapping that color in and building it up, making it as dark as possible. Back in with our first brush, blending the bad boy out. Ooh, yeah. Going in, using the shade Blessed, once again, hitting the lid. Now that I'm saying it out loud, we're going the same way we went with the first look, but it's gonna change, it's gonna change. Just tapping over that wet base. Again, reinforcing our steps, getting that crease with the lighter shade under my skin, and then with Blessed, and then back in with Chimal, getting that crease. And blue is my favorite color, so we're going with 1989, hitting it with the flat brush, getting it close to the lash line, creating a buffed out wing. Nothing too sharp, nothing too structured, just como caiga. That was how the wing was gonna be. And just tapping it over. Tapping will get that pigment really as dark as possible. And then wetting my eyeliner brush. It's the MAC 210 brush. And then hitting it in the shade 1989. So wetting our brush with setting spray, it's gonna create essentially a liquid liner. So we made a liner just to outline and make it a little bit darker because I felt like it translated on my skin tone a little too light. You see it got a little bit darker, but not yet. And it is a wet texture. You do have to wait for it to dry. And just literally following what I had done already. And back in with a makeup wipe and just cleaning it up and making it sharp. And reinforcing our steps one more time. Sometimes a makeup wipe kind of removes some of the product. Full face and everything, going in with this LA Girl Bright Liner. This is my most favorite nude liner ever, and I'm just hitting it on the waterline, making it super bright. So I really took my time getting every little nook and cranny of the eyeball. Like getting it, you see kind of where my lashes are. And then we're going in with Leo X2, hitting it in the inner corner, making that inner corner nice and bright. And I love this shade because it has reflexes of purple, pinks, blues, a little bit of silver. Ooh, so pretty. Just tied in with the blue liner, you know? All right, full face and everything, you guys. This look, I actually filmed it for my TikTok too. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. Oh, so pretty. I don't know what to say. I love it so much. Blue is my favorite color. I love a nice defined crease and I just loved it. It looks so beautiful and I don't know what else to say. It's bomb. I love a matte look. Everything blended out beautifully and it lasted all day long. Oh, I love look number 2. Vamos to look number 3. All right, guys, starting off with the full face already. I was a little scared, but we're going in with Unstoppable, a fluffy brush, similar to the MAC 217 brush, and literally buffing it onto our lid. Keeping it below where the crease is, because you don't want to go too high because then it just creates a mess. So you see how I'm tapping it and I'm keeping it underneath my crease and just tapping over. And once everything's there, I kind of go back and forth. Cleaning that brush off, getting rid of all the product, and we're gonna hit the edges with it so we soften them up. Using the same brush, but with very, very little purple product. It'll create like a pinkish tone. Going in with Blessed, and oof, we're gonna blend out the edges even more with Blessed, but just slightly. It's like a subtle oomph. You know what I mean? And then cleaning the lid. I shouldn't have done this. I should have just kept going, but I think I was doing too much. So we're cleaning up the lid with some concealer and blending it out, making it as thin as possible because if it's too wet, it's a mess. And we're gonna tap over Unstoppable on top of that area. My idea was to create a different tone of purple, but it didn't happen in this case. But it's okay, I really like the purple and how deep it got. And again, we're just tapping. Tapping will really get that pigment on the eyeball. Eyeball lid, you know. Okay, whew. Breathe. Going in with Huda Beauty's brand new liner, we're gonna create a graphic liner. And it took me a lot longer than this video is showing, but I'm speeding it up because I don't want it to take 200 years. So what I do is create a regular wing, you know, your normal day-to-day. You look at your crease and you go right above the crease. Because if you go in your fold, the graphic liner is gonna kind of disappear, and that will help guide you to the wing part. Then I attached it and make it a little bit thicker so it kind of looks cohesive. Full face and everything, I'm going in with this purple liner. I wanted to keep the lower lash line super simple, also like I did in the last look, because the top has a lot going on and it's okay to not always do a lower lash line. I feel like it kind of brings my eyes a little bit down. So I'm just hitting it with this purple liner. Then we're going in with Cairial. It's a beautiful shimmer purple shade, and with the finger we're just tapping it all over that lid, and it just gave that oomph we needed. All right, guys, this is look number 4. Such a pretty look. I had to work with the purple. I just saw how deep and luscious that purple was, and I just had to use it and show you guys how it works on its own. And look how beautiful it is. The shade looks exactly how it looks on the pan. It's super pigmented. It wasn't patchy. It looks bomb. The graphic liner just added that it needed, because the look was a little bit simple because we did only use 2 shades and it was like your typical smoky eye, you know? But oh, okay, let's go on to look numero 4. All right, so I wanted to change it up. We're changing it up. We're going in with Makeup Your World and hitting it with the fluffy brush, concentrating it in the inner corner, and then moving it towards the right or the left, depending on what side you're in. Now with the fluffy brush, we're just gonna buff it out a little more so we don't have harsh lines. And this tone looks a little more yellow on my skin tone. Now going in with the shade Beauty is in the Details. We're again hitting it in the inner corner and moving it out exactly how we used Makeup Your World. Using the shade Oaxaca, we're gonna hit it right on the crease, really blend that bad boy out, at the same time connecting it to Makeup Your World shade. Using the shade Under My Skin Oaxaca, mixing those two together, just hitting it right on the lid, again connecting it and blending it in with all the other shades that are there. Going in with this clean brush, we're just gonna hit the edges to buff those out so we don't have those harsh lines. Back in, reinforcing our steps per the usual with Oaxaca and Under My Skin. Back in with Makeup Your World. And going in with this eyeliner from NARS, we're just gonna create a normal wing. I like to do my wings really thin because I don't wear lashes, and usually thicker liners tend to just eat up your lashes. Yeah, that's how we like it. Full face and everything, going back in with our LA Girl Bright Liner. Whew, I love this liner. And then going in with Oaxaca and Under Your Skin and just hitting it in the lower lash line, giving it a little bit of color, nothing too sharp, you know? All right, full face and everything, and what a belleza de look. Oh my God, it's simple, it's easy, you got beautiful colors, blended out beautifully. This was just such an easy look to do. You can add a wing, you can leave the wing out, you could wear lashes, you could leave the lashes out. I just really love simple looks, and I try to make these looks as simple as possible, and I really try to explain because, you know, makeup, it could be difficult sometimes. This is look numero 4. Let's move on to look numero 5. All right, starting look number 5. I didn't comb my hair, but you know, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go in with this shade Under My Skin with this fluffy brush, hit it right on the crease, tapping it in and then blending it out. You see how pigmented this shade is? Oh, so pretty. And really just getting it in there, tapping it, getting it nice and pigmented. With my finger, we're gonna go in with the shade Bali, and it's beautiful. It has reflexes of blue, green, turquoise, gold. We're gonna hit it with the finger because that will give us the most pigment. And then with this small concealer brush, we're gonna get all the little areas that we have little gaps in, and you see that where we see the skin peeking through. And again, tapping motions. Well, for the most part, I forget sometimes. Okay, and then tapping it back in with the brown shade, meshing everything together, getting this small MAC 228S brush, using the shade Chimal, I wanted something darker there because it just wasn't giving me that oomph. So I'm tapping it in, kind of connecting the blues and the browns together. And a dark shade will really do that. You see how it's creating that gradient so easily? And back in with our big brush and just blending those bad boys out. Very gently. I was barely touching the skin. You see it's not moving? I'm very heavy-handed. Back in, reinforcing our steps with Bali. Look how much more pigmented it got on the finger. Back in with Chimal. Just reinforcing our steps, again with under my skin. Going in with Babado or Babadoo. It's more like Babado. So getting a small brush and just outlining the eye. I felt like we needed a little bit of depth. I don't want a wing liner. I just wanted a little smoked out liner to give the eyes a little oomph, a little sexiness to them, you know? And just bringing it halfway, not bringing it all the way. And it's not really neat. I'm just kind of tapping it on there, you see? And then with this makeup wipe, it's gonna be our lifesaver. We're cleaning it and really just making it a little sharp, not too sharp, and reinforcing our steps once again. And again, you know how our makeup wipe kind of took some. And then I felt like I needed something and I got the eyeliner, just created a tiny, tiny line just to make that black darker and so it could stand out a little more. Full face and everything, going in with the L'Oreal Let Liner. It's the brown shade. I'll leave it in the description box. Hitting it on the waterline. Going back in with Chimal, keeping it very, very close to the lower lash line. And then just tapping it, really building it up, you see? And with the smaller brush, I'm getting the gaps between the waterline and the lower lash line. You know that one? And then buffing it out again. So it's nice and subtle. Using the shade Beauties in the Details, hitting it in the inner corner and blending it in with the shade Bali so we don't have like a big dot there. En peinada y todo, this is look number 5. You guys, oh, this look came out exactly how I pictured it in my mind. It came out so easily and I just love how the browns literally complement every single shade in this palette. Such a pretty look. So yeah, guys, this is it. I do have an outro. We're gonna talk about the palette a little bit. And fam, let me know which one's your favorite look. See you in the outro. Hola, hola, I'm back. Oh my God, I should say my outro in Spanish, but I'm too shy. It'll be Spanglish. You guys, oh my God. Esta paleta is bomb, you see? Oh my God. So Beauty Creations is a Latina owned brand. If you're not familiar with it, they're based out of LA and I know they do have offices in Mexico. And Luis Torres is a Mexican celebrity makeup artist. And oh my God, he's so funny. Not only is he funny, he has such a great personality and he is an artist. I literally use his concealer method and it's bomb. Like you'll never have a bad concealer day. Like I had to support my Latinos. You guys know I'm always here supporting us and this palette's beautiful. You look at it and you're like, whoa, there's a lot of color, but we have our neutrals, we have our blues. You guys know blue is my favorite color. We have a black, we always need a black shade. I just love the variety of the palette. You can do a lot with it. When I first looked at it, I'm like, I'm not sure what can be done, but I'm like, we have 5 looks to do. Let's see what can happen. Overall, the palette is great. It retails for $24. It is still available at beautycreations.com. Also, if you're here in the LA area, Beauty Creations has a store at the Cerritos Mall. I'll let you guys know in the description box. I'll put it here too. I always forget. I'm out there a lot and I'm like, which one is it? Is it Lakewood or Cerritos? I think it's Cerritos. I believe you can get it there. You guys, so the palette. I do want to mention the colorful shades do stain the lids. I don't have a problem with staining. All you have to do is wash your face very, very well. The stain will come off. I absolutely loved how this palette worked. It worked out very, very well. Shades are super pigmented, super blendable. They didn't show a lot of my texture. I have very textured lids. A lot of times some mattes and shimmers do accentuate that texture even more. As you can see, not at all. Very pigmented. These shimmers are like straight pigment. The way you see it on the palette is the way it's going to apply on your lid. I really, really like that. I absolutely love that a lot of the shimmers have different reflexes to them. So if you put a different color base, Like let's say a pink base, all the pinks will come out in this one, but this shade has purples, blues, silvers, pinks. So that's the good thing about reflective shades, is that depending on either like another eyeshadow you wear, if you wear blue, it'll pull out blue. If you wear purple, it'll pull out purple. So I really, really like that. The mattes were beautiful. This purple shade, purples are really hard to come by, and the fact that I was able to do one whole smoky eye without it looking patchy, like enough said type of thing. Shadows lasted a very, very long time. There was a lot of fallout, so keep that in mind. I don't mind fallout. That's why I always do my eyes first. But if you do your eyes after your base foundation, make sure that you put powder or something to catch that fallout, because there is a lot of it. Eye primer worked a lot better with these shades than concealer. I personally just like to prime my lids with concealer. Primer did work a little bit better when it came to blending and the longevity of the shades, because I wore these shades throughout the week. I've been doing like a look or two a day. Guys, now I'm always here supporting Latino brands, and I'm just really happy I got my hands on it. If you guys want this palette, it is available. I'll link everything down below. And yeah, I'm so excited because these looks were just so fun. I haven't done a multiple looks in a really long time, in over a month. Let me know if you want me to continue doing them, because I don't know. I don't know if you still like them. I know they were liked a lot before, but I don't know if it's too much. Let me know, because I do these for you, and I know a lot of times these looks are very helpful when you buy a palette. So let me know. And I think this is it, guys. I absolutely love this palette. This packaging was beautiful, like this matte here. And you guys saw the box. Oh, even the box was beautiful. And Beauty Creations packaging is usually like super pink, but I love that they changed it all up and did it in black. You know, I'm always wearing black. So yeah, okay. I could really ramble about this all day long. Me encantó, fabuloso, and sí. Just kidding. I do speak more Spanish. But okay, I love you guys so, so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Adios. Los quiero mucho. Bye.